Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Selling Hobson by the Pound. We have a pretty interesting week this week. I have been ruthlessly, let's call it, going through my collection, thinning things, and to offer up and to give myself some more space and to let some people get some of these beautiful records that I've collected over the years. Now and for the next few weeks, you're going to see a big offering of a selection of records, all from Japan, all made by the King Record Company, okay? And these, there's a little bit of a cool story behind it because, quite frankly, I think King Super Analog, which is some of the discs that I'll show you in a minute, King Record Company was an audiophile company from the onset, although they didn't really tout themselves as audiophiles, in the sense that they just did really, really good work. They had a custom mastering system. They had a custom cutting system. They pressed their vinyl at JVC. In the early days, they pressed it on regular weight vinyl, but I'm going to tell you that some of the offerings, not today, but in weeks to come, there'll be a few things at regular weight, but I promise you that these records are stunning. They are so quiet and so dynamic. And part of that was just their mastering system, their chain. And by the way, that inspired me. Having these records and having listened to them, most of these are sealed, but I have other copies that I've listened to over time. And I was just like, this sets the standard for what audiophile reissues ought to live up to. And I think we did that at Classic Records, but these guys did a really super job in the early days, in the 1970s actually. What they did was primarily, from the beginning, not exclusively, but primarily, they licensed things from the Decca catalog, the famous Decca catalog, obviously, that we're all aware of, that have been reissued before, more recently by some audiophile companies, and of course the originals of some of these recordings by Kenneth Wilkinson at Kingsway Hall and Walthamstow and the other great places. And artists like Onsame and others are just legendary in terms of both their performance and their sound quality. So King Record Company went after this catalog through Polydor KK, and Polydor KK was the Japanese company that licensed all of the Decca titles for mainstream release. And so King Record Company licensed, like we did with RCA and others, these titles back in the 70s and into the 80s, and did a fantastic job. And so a lot of these records have never been played. I've got duplicates and so forth, all of which are coming out. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't get much better than this, to be honest. And so the fact that they were pressed at the legendary JVC plant, I mean, sometimes when I put the needle down, I wonder whether I'm on the record or not, because it's so quiet. Like the lead in and the cuts between the tracks and so forth are like dead quiet. And by the way, that's the way at record pressing plants they judge, whether the stamper's got a problem or whatever. They listen to the lead in, the lead out, and the spaces between the tracks. And these things are astonishingly quiet. And the effect of that is that when you listen to these things, it's like it's coming from this really dark background and the music just like leaps out. And it's like, sometimes it's pretty shocking, I want you to know. And I think they cut these records at a higher level because of this custom cutting system that they had. And so here you are, the founder of Classic Records, 500 plus releases, and I'm lauding a company from the 70s in Japan. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, here we go. This is Montu LSO doing Sibelius Second. This is a sealed copy. We've got Bachhaus doing Brahms Concerto No. 2, another sealed copy. And by the way, not just that these are rare, but that they're sealed, ridiculous. Like, they don't exist, right? Here you got Dvorak from the New World Cortez London Symphony, sealed. You got Stokowski doing Bach transcriptions, with the Czech Philharmonic, sealed. You got Brahms Symphony No. 4 with Cortez, famous performance, sealed. You got Saint-Saëns Symphony No. 3 with Ensemble, sealed. You got Richard Strauss Alpine Symphony, Zubin Mehta, Los Angeles Philharmonic. This is a famous recording, sealed. You got Beethoven 6 with Schmidt-Ischerdent and the Vienna Philharmonic. Famous performance, a very good Beethoven conductor, sealed. You've got Mahler's 5th with Zubin Mehta. I believe this is a 2-disc set, sealed. Mahler 3rd with Zubin Mehta, sealed. You got Bruckner, the 5th Symphony of Bruckner and some Wagner pieces. Knappersbusch and the Vienna Philharmonic. I think this is a 2-disc set as well. Here's our boy, Ernst Ansermet, doing French music, which he's really good at, by the way. Remember Royal Ballet. So we've got, this is a famous record, Wang Chung doing a Chasson, Saint-Saëns, and Ravel pieces with the Royal Philharmonic. Charles Dutoit. Beethoven Septet in E, members of the Vienna Octet, sealed. Did I say already that this is ridiculous? That you never see this before? Hesitate at your own peril. You'll never see these again. Bach, this is different Bach pieces. Munchener and the Stuttgart Chamber Orchestra. And then you've got the last one for this week of this series is Ashkenazi playing Chopin ballads. Sealed. So there you go. A couple of the other things I want to mention. Sealed copy of Mike Aldridge Dobro on Tacoma. Beautiful, beautiful record. This is the Strauss Salome series, Symphonies 7 and 12, which are actually symphonies number, let's see, symphony number 101 and 102, I think. And this is a rare stereo recording. It's got the white and gold label. This is an absolute original. And I thought I wrote a description of this, but who knows? Maybe I didn't. I remember it being really wonderful. I'm just looking to see where I would have put it. Anyway, yeah, I don't. Oh, you know what? I did. What am I thinking? I remember listening to this record. Sorry for the confusion here. I must have put it in wrong. So I say insanely rare first pressing white and gold stereo version of Haydn Symphony 101 and 102. Pressing is extremely quiet and better copy likely does not exist. Early EMI stereo sound is thrilling. Absolute top copy. Great wow sound. You know, there you go. I think these are a couple of repeats, that is things that we've had before. This is the famous Faya three-cornered hat de Burgos, compilation of excerpts from the three-cornered hat and El Amor Brujo by de Faya. Giulini conducting, Victoria de Los Angeles singing, very quiet pressing, big sound. So, yeah, beautiful, beautiful record. And then this we've seen before, a very rare Menuhin family, Yehudi Menuhin conducting, his wife and his wife's sister playing piano, along with his son Jeremy in the Mozart 2 and 3 pieces for 2 and 3 pianos. I say beautiful original Odeon pressing with quiet surfaces. Wonderful, wonderful performance and recording at Royal Festival Hall, London, 1966. That's an original on the Argo label. Or Odeon label, I'm sorry about that. And then we've got, I think this is a, I remember listening to this record, Bolt LSO with Previn, Andre Previn playing piano, Sir Adrian Bolt conducting the LSO, piano with Christopher Bishop production, not Christopher Parker did not do the recording, but the famous Bishop and Parker. Bishop doing the production for EMI. Very quiet surfaces make these Mozart concertos even more enjoyable. I put top recommendation. You got the small dog, it's postage stamp label. And this is one that I didn't intend to talk about, but I have pulled a few more copies from my archive that I had duplicates of. And this is one we put out with Experience Hendrix when we did this Hendrix stuff, including the box sets. This is the Noel Redding record that never got released before. And this is the so-called Hobson play copy, but of course it's sealed, so I never played it. I probably had another play copy. And there are a few other interesting classic records from my own archive that are part of this week's offering as well. And so, as always, good luck. Thanks.